A village in China earned 3 billion yuan by raising 3 million snakes. What will happen when snakes are raised in large numbers? It sounds very scary, but this is a very normal job that takes place in a village in China. The people of Zixichao Village, Zhejiang Province, China, have long been famous for raising snakes for food and supplying pharmaceutical companies to make drugs for export. The annual income of this village is estimated to be up to 12 million US dollars per year. However, this job faces many risks, even affecting one's life. Come explore this mysterious village with me and see how snakes are raised. A village in China earned 3 billion yuan by raising 3 million snakes. Snake farming here started in the 1980s, carried out by Mr. Yang Hongcheng. Mr. Yang said that in the first year of the breeding experiment, only 10% of the snake eggs hatched into babies, causing him a big loss. But the next year, things got better when the snake hatching rate reached 80%, with 30,000 snakes successfully bred. Since then, more and more people in the village have learned to raise snakes in the hope of repeating Mr. Yang's success. As time passed, the scale of snake farming in the village continued to grow. At its peak, more than 85% of the villagers in the village raised snakes. Snakes raised in Zixichao Village are mainly non-venomous snakes. Only a few snakes that raise green snakes, black snakes, and cobras are venomous. As for the barn, it must be built solidly with bricks, divided into cells, with each cell holding 1 bird per meter squared. Fully equipped with ventilation system to ensure cool in summer and warm in winter. The barn is usually rectangular in shape with a wooden or steel frame. The door is on the front of the barn and is carefully locked. Usually snakes live alone. Only during the breeding season do male and female snakes come together. Snakes at the farm will lay 20 to 30 eggs each year, with a successful incubation rate of over 90%. The average incubation time for snake eggs on the farm is about 70 days. After hatching, the snake will be placed in a foam box or tank to be raised separately. During the care process, farmers need to regularly take care to limit the situation of snakes eating each other and minimize the problem of population loss. For a snake to mature, if raised properly, it takes about 12 to 18 months, with an average weight of about 2 kilograms per head. When raising snakes, farm owners need to pay attention to issues such as diseases, diet, reproduction, and how to care for newborn snakes. Regarding epidemics, snakes often suffer from diseases such as pneumonia and diarrhea. Currently, there is no specific treatment, so farmers must regularly observe to detect it early and avoid spreading it, thereby reducing the risk of economic loss. Regarding food sources, snakes' food is mainly frogs, mice, etc. Feed the snake once every 3 to 5 days. The amount of food increases with age. For snakes under 6 months old, food quantity is equal to 30% of body weight per month, divided into 7 to 10 feeding times. For snakes over 6 months to 1 year old, food quantity is equal to 20% of body weight per month divided into 5 to 6 feeding times. For snakes over 1 year old, food quantity is equal to 10% of body weight per month divided into 2 to 4 feeding times. Besides, we should also provide enough clean and cool water for snakes to drink and bathe freely. However, this is an extremely dangerous job, bringing many risks, especially cobras. Cobras are extremely poisonous. If bitten by them, whether a person or a large animal like a buffalo or cow, you will lose your life in a few minutes. Therefore, raising cobras is an extremely dangerous profession. Not everyone dares to do it. Snake breeders need to understand the behavior and characteristics of this animal, and especially during care must always be careful to avoid unwanted incidents. Although dangerous, due to the value that snakes bring, snake farming is still developed to this day. Usually, snakes are raised for meat to be sold to stores, and some are sold to pharmaceutical companies. The remainder is dried to make medicine or soaked in wine to drink. Besides being used to extract venom for medical purposes, in China, snakes are also raised for food. Through cooking with special recipes, the Chinese can turn this scary animal into an attractive dish. However, this has also encountered fierce debate from animal protection associations. There is no denying the effects that cobra can bring to users, especially snake wine. It is considered a valuable remedy in traditional Chinese medicine and is effective in cases of kidney yang deficiency, inflammation, peripheral neuropathic pain, and especially mental decline. It is also very useful for bone and joint diseases. What do you feel when watching the video? Are snakes really as scary as we think? Please leave a comment below to let us know.
Do you know what this strange-looking animal is? Like the panda, this animal can only be found in China and is very rare in the wild. They are called wow fish, or Chinese giant salamander. This fish species has high nutritional and medicinal value, so it is increasingly being raised and developed on farms, which is also considered a method of preserving this rare fish breed. So what are the characteristics and values of the Chinese giant salamander? Please join us to find out in today's video how the Chinese raise Chinese giant salamander in captivity. The Chinese giant salamander is a fully aquatic amphibian that can grow up to 1.8 meters long, although the more typical body length is 1 meter. It has a broad and flat head, small eyes, and brown skin with rough wrinkles and spots. This giant animal has poor eyesight and relies heavily on smell, touch, and vibration to hunt fish, frogs, and insects. This is an ancient animal, part of a lineage dating back 170 million years. But now, a combination of overfishing, disease, and habitat loss is making these living fossils in danger of extinction in the wild. Their long breeding cycle makes it difficult for populations to recover, so populations have plummeted by 80% in just a few decades, causing the species to be listed as critically endangered by the IUCN. Because it is an endangered animal, China encourages people to expand livestock farming for conservation purposes. Therefore, the number of Chinese giant salamander raised on farms has reached millions of fish. Why is it that Chinese giant salamander are almost extinct in the wild, but on farms they grow so strongly? Because studies have shown that farm-raised wow undergoes artificial breeding that destroys the genes of existing wild species, which is detrimental to their survival in the wild. Even if we release the farmed salamander into the wild, they still cannot survive. It is said that Chinese giant salamanders in the wild are very rare to find, so this wild species may be on the brink of extinction. The species' precarious status in the wild stands in stark contrast to the millions of Chinese giant salamanders raised by farms across the country. However, it is virtually impossible for farms to maintain breeding populations, resulting in the majority of breeding individuals being either directly caught from the wild or first-generation descendants of wild-caught animals. Gradually, the number of individuals in the wild becomes increasingly depleted. For that reason, China has classified the Chinese giant salamander as a second-level national protected wildlife species. Although Chinese giant salamander in the wild are very rare, on livestock farms, you can easily see them and even enjoy dishes made from them. Why do Chinese people love Chinese giant salamander meat so much? This special fish has a lifespan of up to 130 years in captivity, and it is believed that eating it will prolong your life. So what are the requirements for raising this species? Regarding water sources, when raising salamanders, you should use clear, cool, flowing water like mountain stream water. Water temperature must be strictly guaranteed, controlled between 0 and 28 degrees Celsius. The best temperature is about 10 to 22 degrees Celsius. Water quality requires a rich amount of dissolved oxygen, and mineral substances such as nitrogen, chloride, and sulfate should not exceed aquaculture water standards. Wild fish can be raised in large tanks built of brick or concrete. A layer of sand and gravel can be spread on the bottom of the tank to absorb dirt. In addition, you can add a small amount of seaweed and other aquatic animals to create an ecological environment like in nature. Aquatic plants not only increase photosynthesis, but also increase the oxygen content in the water, helping Chinese giant salamander choose it as a breeding site. Changing water is a regular task, keeping the water source clean and creating good living conditions for Chinese giant salamander to grow and develop. Food for Chinese giant salamander are trash fish. They can bite their prey and eat them, so there's no need to chop the food. People believe that this dish has high medicinal and nutritional value, so it attracts many diners who want to experience it. Fish processed into salads, soups or stews are very nutritious. Many people get rich from raising Chinese giant salamander, which they can sell for 1,000 yuan, about $140 to $150 per kilogram.
Do you know that the largest species of leech found in the UK, and the only one known to feed on human blood? However, there is much more than defines this species, and there are many fascinating things to know about the wondrous creatures. So how do the farmers raise the leeches, and what are the positive effects of it? Follow us through the video below. Explore the farm that fosters the world's most terrible bloodsuckers. As leeches have soft, slimy bodies and are adapted to swimming in water, leeches live mainly in freshwater environments, but there are also some species that live on land and in the sea, as there are about 700 recognized species of leeches, of which there are about 100 species of sea leech and 90 species of terrestrial leeches. as you can completely raise them outdoors or on the farm without modern equipment. It's completely empty to the inside of your leech farm. Thoroughly clean all the parts of the leech bucket and then dry completely in the sun. As apparently there are hundreds of types of leeches that can be found around the world. However, at the farm, they will choose the best varieties of leeches, depending on their purpose. As the leeches are often made to lay eggs, and the leeches are hermaphrodites, which means that each individual has both male and female genitalia. When leeches mate, they exchange sperm and lay eggs. After the eggs hatch, the young leeches develop and mature. As the leeches are aquatic creatures belonging to the phylum Arthropods, their food are mainly animal blood, so they also do not condone the human blood. As an addition, leeches can also eat river snails, mussels, as when raising leeches, you do not need to check their health or to treat them, because the leeches have a very strong vitality. Almost like earthworms, certain places on the leech's body, when damaged, can regenerate, as creating a new leech. Folks often mistakenly call it the infinite rebirth ability of leeches. They are used in hospitals around the country to prevent blood loss in rare and specific cases, as leeches must be starved for up to 2 years, depending on their size, before they can be used in the medical treatment, because their intestines must be empty to ensure that they are sterile as possible. In addition, leeches are also used in plastic surgery to reconstruct the face and breast. Currently, genetic technology is also applied to exploit the medicinal resources from leeches. As you can see, leeches are an animal that when it comes to people will feel panic. However, it also has a positive side that people probably haven't noticed. As in particular, they have the ability to kill bacteria and to create a natural antibiotic used in medicine to treat the human disease. As this is the end of our video for today. Do you find it useful? Please leave a comment down below to let us know. Don't forget to click the like, share and subscribe button to support the channel. And for now, goodbye, and see you in the next video.